Hi, this is the updated video regarding the extension installation of Google Tag Manager we provide. Um, Today we are going to install uh, version 10 of our extension on the fresh Opencart. So let's begin. You need to download the extension files from the Opencart website. So we believe you already have them. So first thing we will go is we go to installer and upload. So we have the folder extracted here. It will look something like that. These are the files. So this is the import file that we already shown how to import in another video. Now this is the extension OCMod file that you have to install. So we just click on that and open. The installation will take place. So we just install the extension and we go to extension section. We go to analytics and here we can see a new entry, Tag Manager Analytics. So we install that here, and once we install, we will see our store name, default store name, and an edit option. So we just click on the edit. So first thing we have to do is generate a license. So how do we do it is we can just click on this link and we put our order ID and our email address for the order and our domain name, which is the primary domain name we are going to enter. As you can see, this is installed on a subdomain, but we are allowed to install on all domains, all subdomains under this primary domains, like the dev or something. We copy this license key from here and we just go back to here and just paste this and submit. Here we go. So the first section, first part, license is done. We have the license here. So now we need to set up the extension. So first we have to have the container. If you already have set up the container, you can enter the ID here, which will start with actually GTM. But if you haven't imported the container or you are not able to do that, what you can do is here will be a container provided by us. Since there is nothing on the container to be changed, edited, or required individually, so we provide a default container that's published along with all extensions, and you can use the ID provided in that. It would be different for each version, so whatever is provided here is the version compatible with that container, so you can use that one as well. Otherwise you can use your own container ID. So we enable the extension here. We quickly save this settings before we move forward. So the basic settings are saved. So we have the container ready. There are different settings. I'm going to go through each of them quickly so I can explain you what each of the settings do. Some are advanced settings and some are basic settings that we recommend you have. So the first option you will see is how the extension is going to work. This is page cache override. Now a lot of people have different kind of page cache like lightning cache, nitro cache. Even people are using Cloudflare to run their site to speed up. So if you have any kind of these page caches, we recommend you enable this page cache option. What it will do is it will run the extension in Ajax mode, or you can say in a JavaScript mode, where the script is loaded individually for each browsers according to the browser setting or the user visitor settings. So this is recommended in case you have a page cache, and especially if you are using a Google enhanced conversion or pixel conversion API as well. So enable these settings. Secondly, There is another option down here, which is an advanced option. You can keep it switched off until there is a problem, which is regarding the XML, HTTP, and jQuery Ajax. So we will just skip this part here. So we just ignore that one because it is not required normally. We definitely recommend to enable the speed up cache for this extension. This extension use external queries to run. Obviously, we have designed this extension to uh, have minimum overhead on your existing site, but in some cases the extension runs queries to collect categories data that's missing, or the brand or SKU or various aspect of the item details that are missing. So we recommend you have this enabled so it don't cause any kind of overhead. So this is an independent cache system that the extension is going to run. You can definitely keep it without, run it without it. It's your choice depending on where you're comfortable with. Enable user data. So this is the important thing. If you're using Google enhanced conversion and you want to provide user email address and relevant details to Google ads, and similarly to other extensions like Pixel, Sendinblue, whatever, you have to enable this option to make to allow it to send the user data. So we just enable that as well, depending on your choice. There is a new option here, override text. So some websites don't have text setup, but obviously it might be an old site, you don't have a text setup, your product prices are inclusive of taxes, whatever the reason is. If you don't have a text setup but still you want to calculate tax, like if you're running Skroutz, Kilami or something like that who require text input, so you have to have a tax value. So what this will do is below you can, after enabling, you can provide a tax value, like you say 20% VAT, you want to put a 20% VAT um, when sending the values of the final order or something like that. So you can do that. Make sure if you enable this, it will override the existing tax setup. So we recommend only this if you know what you're doing. So just keep it off. It's only required if you store product prices, or you don't have any kind of tax setup on the Opencart, but you still need to calculate tax for some reason or one another. So it's not for everyone, so it's only for the ones that if you don't have tax setup and you want to send prices. It will also help in other ways, so we will go forward after that thing. We will discuss this when we go to the subsettings. We recommend enable debugging messages initially. Once your extension is installed, you should enable it for some days to monitor the performance of the extension if there is an error or something. Similar is debug API messages. This is for the APIs that are going to run sorry, like the Facebook conversion API or the Google Analytics for measurement protocol. So all these debugging information is helpful when you are setting it up. So last section is the custom code. You can inject custom code here. So I will take the opportunity as well here so to show you how to have a custom code that can be run using during the consent mode as well. So I'm just going to put a script here. So here you can also any kind of script you want to put in the header, you can put in here. This uh, is for reference for all the people who want to run any third-party script after consent is accepted. I'm going to come back to this section once we go to the cookie section, so we will skip this part here for now. Google Analytics 4 setup. So the first thing, we are going to set up the Google Analytics. We just need to enable it, put a measurement ID that's going to start with G, and we recommend you get a API secret as well. If you don't know how to get an API secret, you can just Google it and you can find it. Google Analytics, the older one, which is going to be sunset in July, I believe, so you can still use it here. Google Ads tracking. Then now the conversion tracking, how it is going to work. So what you have to do is you have to enable this, put the conversion ID, that's going to be numbers. Usually when you go to Google Ad, it was going to show you something like that. So we just need the number part. Then there will be a label of some kind with this conversion. So it will be something like that, some numbers and figures and blah blah blah. So it will be something like that. That's called a conversion label. How you can find it? You can Google it online and see how to find the conversion label. I believe it is in our knowledge base as well. You can find it on support.aits.xyz in the knowledge base section. You can just search how to find the conversion label. Enhance conversion, if you want to enable it. Exclude shipping, exclude text. Now when the revenue is going to send to the Google Ads, if you want to exclude shipping for that, if you want to exclude the tax out of it, so pure revenue you want to send, you just enable these options. So you send the exact amount of the order minusing the shipping cost, minusing the tax, and that's this option are here. Secondary conversion, you can use secondary conversion. We are not going to go in this detail. Remarketing parameters and remarketing. So you just enable these for Google dynamic remarketing. These options are old for probably Google Analytics. You don't have to use them. You just enable the remarketing parameters. That's enough. So this way you enable Google conversion tracking and Google dynamic remarketing. Both is enabled now. Next section is Facebook pixel tracking. So we just put the pixel ID here, and if you want to use conversion API, enable that, put the token that you receive, and if you have a catalog ID, if you haven't linked it, you can have a catalog ID, or you can find the catalog ID from your pixel. Exclude shipping, exclude shipping, exclude tax, it's the same. Alternate currency, if your currency is not supported, you can switch from a different currency, like always sending to the same the currency you want to send. Like if you want to always send to euros, or if your currency is not supported, like some other currency and that's not supported by Facebook and you are getting a pixel error, so you can just do that alternate currency. We just switch it off. So these are the main Google Analytics 4, Google Universal Analytics, Google Ads, and Facebook conversion tracking with the pixel. Other than that, you can use Snapchat by just providing the Snapchat pixel ID, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, Skroutz. Skroutz is also very simple, just provide the account ID. Lucky Orange is here as well, Glami is here as well. It worked very perfectly. Yandex, Ping, Google Optimize, Google Review, Admitted, Affiliate, Sendinblue. So Sendinblue is also just the client key. Linkwise, TwoPerformant, Clarity, PayPal, pen advertising and tracking, Hotjar, live chats. There are several live chats that are built in, so you just have to provide the IDs and this will pop up the. So we just move to the cookie consent here. So it has a built-in cookie consent system in here. That's also built into the Google Tag Manager. That's also integrated with Facebook Pixel API. So if you enable cookie consent here, it's going to work everywhere. All the scripts that are running through this extension are going to obey the consent, and most of them won't fire if they are marketing cookies block, like let's suppose Lucky Orange, Skroutz, Klami, Yandex, all these are blocked under marketing. So if consent is not granted for marketing, these tracking will not fire. So if you enable cookie consent, there are two modes. One is enforce mode. Enforce mode means that user must accept, show his consent, then the cookies are going to be fired. If the user do not accept, any tracking or something like that is not going to fire. But there you have to enable it to enforce it. Otherwise it will just show a pop-up message. It won't require consent, but if you enable it, the user must consent. So these are some basic settings here. You can put wherever the position you want to do, top, bottom. There are 4 positions we basically have. You can modify the CSS, write your own CSS and just change the position if you want to. A little bit of technical knowledge for the CSS is required. So we just set some colors here. Let's suppose some kind of fancy colors. Okay, white, the button colors, the heading colors, custom code, we will just skip that part. Consent badge, you can have a badge at the bottom. Now these are the heading according to the settings. So I'm just going to save and I'm just going to go back to where we were using the heading things. So we just enforce the cookies here, and we also have enabled the badge and everything. So now let's suppose that I have a script, a third-party script, or I have a third-party tracking, or I want to do something after the tracking, after the consent is done. So what you can do is you can use this code here, these top lines. There's a differ function in this built into our GTM extension. You can use the differ function to detect if the jQuery is loaded or not. And so we are just going to give you this example here. So in this way you can actually load a third-party script using AJAX function after the consent has been fired. If the consent is not fired, this section is not going to execute. So you can simply use the $get cookie preference marketing or analytics variable via any JavaScript in your extension and use the consent according to your requirement as well. So this part I told you that I'm going to tell you later on. So we just save the setting in here, and now the next part will be going to the modification section, and we are going to refresh the modification cache. This is very important. If you don't have a modification cache refresh, it is not going to work. So make sure that the modifications are applied. Now what we do is we go to the store, and the store is going to open like this. We already have a tag assistant installed, so it is going to tell us, okay, we have the container loaded, we have analytics 4 fired, remarketing is also working, and the Google Analytics 4 is also working here. In the pixel section we see the page view is fired. Okay, very good. If I can show you the inspect section, here we can see some data layers going on here, and here's the confirmation that the page views are sent to GA4 and UA, as you can see on my screen here. Okay, so the cookie consent part, it's not activated, so we just going to find the cookies and just reset this thing, because I think the extension was already installed here, so that's why the cookie message didn't pop up. So we just refresh in here. Okay, so the site is loaded, and as you can see, we see a cookie message here appearing here, and you see that you already have analytics and GA4 active, and the page view is not sent because the cookies are not accepted yet. So we can either select cookies or accept all the cookies directly. If we go to select cookies, we will be shown a message and essential and analytics, and we accept. So now the cookies are accepted, and if you can see behind the scenes, the GA4 and event GA4 and UA is being fired. And if we do the refresh the page, since now the consent is already in the browser, so everything is going to get activated. The page view is also active. Let's say we do add to cart, and as you can see, we already have an add to cart sent to the pixel, and as I can show you the events, the add to cart has sent to analytics as well. Let's say checkout, and we have the checkout sent to the pixel, and if you can see, the checkout is also sent to Google. Let's do a guest checkout. So we have placed a test order here. Let's see what the tag assistant says. So we have now 5 total tags. So now we have a conversion fired as well. So you can see conversion ID. We put a fake ID and label here. So but still it shows that it has sent the conversion of 101 US dollars already. So you can see the conversion tag is being fired, the remarketing tag is being fired, analytics is fired, and everything is working. And same is for pixel, the purchase has been sent, and even the user data has been sent. The user data is not, the user is not saved, so that's why I think so. The user data is not saved. So as you can see, the purchase event also sent to the pixel, and here it is. This is a cookie badge actually. If you can use it to modify the cookies if you want to, or give the option to use it. We go to the analytics here, and let's suppose we go to logs. So here it says that order number 1 is sent. That's good news. We go to the analytics, and it says sent to analytics. So this order is successfully reported to all the platforms that were active. The send is being disabled here. You can't do another send because already sent, but you can do refund because the refund is still active. If you want to refund this order from here, you can refund it, but ideally it's, you go here, sales and order, and let's suppose we want to cancel this order or refund this order. So let's do refund, and we did the order history. Let's go back to the extension, and we go to order analytics. Now it shows refund. So refund sent to analytics. So once you refund the order, you cancel the order, or you decline the order. There are 3 things monitored. So in all three constraints. A reverse transaction is going to send to Google Analytics, because only Google Analytics and Google Analytics 4 support the refund order. Pixel do not support refund, neither Google Ads. So this way we can also do a reverse transaction. So that's all, and you can ask any other questions you have either in the comment section, or you can contact us at support.aids.xyz. There is a knowledge base here we provide. You can search and find possible answers, or you can just submit a ticket to us. Make sure you provide your order ID, your store URL, etc., etc., and put your details in here, and our team is going to respond within 24 hours. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day.